Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Suburban Rifleman, coming to you from the Eastern Cape in South Africa. I'm not going to tell you exactly where because it doesn't matter, and also because it doesn't matter. I want to take a look at a couple of kind of special rifles today. I've been spending the last 5 days or so making hunting videos, which are going to be kind of difficult. I've never done hunting videos before, so it's going to take me a while to get those edited together. We've been doing camping videos. We've been driving Toyota Land Cruisers on impossible roads. So I've got a lot of cool footage. But this is a format, if you're familiar with the channel, this is a format I'm much more familiar with. So I'm going to talk about these rifles a little bit, and we're going to do a little bit of shooting. My host, Johan, is a very busy guy. He's got a pile of orders for rifle barrels, so he's kind of cut me loose today with a couple of his family's old rifles. So the first rifle we're going to take a look at is this, which I'm not really sure how to classify. Somebody who's much more knowledgeable about Lee Metford and Lee Enfield rifles can give us all a better idea of what exactly we're looking at here. So first of all, let me start off by saying that this was Johan's granddad's target rifle. Obviously, it's a Lee action rifle. It's clear. We've taken a couple of shots with it already. I'm going to take a couple more. From my limited knowledge of older Lee rifles, I believe this started life as a Lee Metford. Maybe a Mark II, maybe a Mark II Star. There's no manual safety on this rifle. But as I said, this is a target rifle. The trigger's been modified, so the safety on this rifle would have been the half-cock notch. That doesn't work. Because this is a target rifle, you would load it at the bench and you would shoot it and you really wouldn't worry about a safety. Most Lee rifles, Lee action rifles that I'm familiar with, have a two-stage trigger. Generally pretty heavy, about 12 pounds or so. This has a single-stage trigger, which by modern standards would be considered pretty heavy. But by the standards of the day, there's about a 3-pound pull, nice clean break, virtually no over travel. This was a really well-tuned rifle in its day. It has a rear sight, and I'm not familiar with Lee Metford rear sights. I'll throw up a close-up of that. Maybe somebody can chime in with some more information about that. This rear sight is obviously adjustable for elevation, but it's also adjustable for windage. The original rifle probably would have had a barleycorn front sight. This has a square post front sight, so I'm sure that's aftermarket. And there's a front sight protector that goes around the front sight and is held in place with a cross screw. I don't know if that's original or not. So there's no date of manufacture on the rifle. It was made by BSA, Birmingham Small Arms Company, whenever it was made. And although I'm sure it started life as a Lee Metford rifle, this barrel definitely has Enfield rifling in it. Of course, the Enfield rifling was adopted to compensate for the erosive qualities of Cordite ammo. And we are in fact using South African surplus. This is 303 Mk7, made by PMP, Pretoria Metal Pressings. It was made in 1966. From what I understand, anything manufactured before 1968 is in fact loaded with Cordite. So I don't think I've ever fired Cordite ammunition in my life, so that'll be a new experience as well. You've got your standard Lee type 10-round box magazine. This one still has a link from the chain that was meant to keep the magazine attached to the rifle. This magazine has seen some use over the years. I'm not going to try using the magazine at all. We're just going to single load off of the magazine cutout. I've got a baboon target out here at 100 yards, and I'm just going to take a couple of shots and see if I can make the steel ring a little bit. We'll take maybe 2 or 3 shots. Very nice sight picture for a 19th century Enfield. There's a lot of wind out here. I have a dead cat on my sound recorder, but I apologize if the wind noise is a little bit intrusive. All right, looks like we hit the baboon. That's interesting. My very first shot of Cordite ever. I have a lot of experience with Lee Enfield rifles, not so much Lee Metfords, but I've never fired surplus, in this case South African or British Cordite loaded ammo. Let me see if I can ring that monkey again. Oh yeah, it's swinging. We'll take one more. I think that'll be enough for this video. Just a really unique experience for me to be able to do this. Yep. Very, very cool. Very, very thankful to have been able to shoot this rifle. It's mostly, I think, just a conglomeration of what was available at the time to make a really very unique and interesting rifle. Unfortunately, the rear volley sight is missing. It does have a brass butt plate very similar to the Lee Enfields that I'm familiar with. Although you'll see, I'll throw up a close-up, this brass butt plate actually curves over the top. Other than that, it's a pretty standard, straightforward military rifle. It just goes to show you, when you're living in a place where you have to work with what's available to you, this is a really, really cool rifle. And again, I'm very thankful to have had the opportunity to shoot it. And so I'm going to get this one edited up and post it, and I hope to catch each of you here on the next one. Later, guys.